Hello, good evening, everyone. I am Pooja Kumari, HR Associate and OD Coordinator of SK Associates and Group. We both are your hosts for today's talk show.
Good evening, everyone.
And please introduce yourself.
I am Dr. KS Ravichandran. I have been a practicing company secretary ever since 1994. It is almost 30 years are already over, and we are in 2025. And prior to taking up this profession, I was serving the government of India and in the Indian Armed Forces as an officer of the Indian Air Force with a training and as a specialist of Russian radar systems. And thereafter, I moved to the Education Department, Civil Services in the government of Arunachal Pradesh. So, after these experiences in the central government and the state government, of course, for a brief period, I had straight jumped into practice. During those days, practice was not a big opportunity. Practice, that too as a company secretary in practice, was very, very minimum. Lawyers and chartered accountants had good practice. Whereas as company secretary, practice opportunities were negligible. And you may not be able to get a lot of opportunities. And for me, it was entirely a completely altogether different subject because my core area was electronics engineering and operating radar systems at high altitudes. I had spent 2 years of my life between the year 1990 to 1992 at 12,500 above MSL in Kashmir, in one of the most forward locations, carrying Sten machine gun on a daily basis. And of course, I was the odd man out because I always carried company law book also. That is how I was brought up into this profession. And ever since 1994, precisely 93 itself, I have started undergoing the kind of exposure to the profession because I joined a firm of company secretaries in Chennai. Those days they were operating in a major way, and that was known as S. Srinivasan and Co. Predominantly, those days, company secretary's job was, the helping the banks in securing registration of their charges and mortgages for their borrowers. So, a practicing company secretary will be doing some routine works in the board meetings and resolutions, and also the charges registration and going to the registrar of company's office, physical office, and then taking down information on charges by hand, then coming back to the office, typing it out, giving a report that the following charges are registered, certain charges would not be registered, then immediately rush to the company law board, get the delays condoned, and all those practices were very, very minimum in nature, not greatly rewarding, not greatly strategic and challenging. It is those kind of times when I quit the central government as well as state government. I took up this bold step of joining this practicing company secretary. And you know what? The first remuneration I was given is 500 rupees. And the reason is that my experience in the electronics engineering or defense forces with guns and arms and ammunitions is of no use for a company secretary to be in practice. In we can say physical era, we didn't have use of computer also was not that great. Of course, it was used like a typewriting machine. That's all. Mostly it will be handed.
It sounds good, sir.
Yeah,
Okay,
so from 1994, I can say there has been no looking back.
nice. Sir,
That's a
the only
period.
things that, moving ahead, the only things that stand between you and your dream is the will to try and believe that is actually possible. It's a beautiful quote quoted by Joel Brown. So, with this quote, I would like to bring our talk show name Conversation with Consultants with episode 41 of our guest talk series.
Before we begin our talk show, let me briefly introduce SK Associates and Group. We are an ISO certified management consulting firm registered under the MSMED Act 2006 with the Government of India. Our mission is to provide consulting services to student entrepreneurs globally, covering areas such as compliance, operations, marketing, research and development, human capital strategy, and operations. Our passion lies in helping these budding entrepreneurs bring their dreams to life and contribute to global economic growth.
Entrepreneurship is a catalyst for a change and innovation. It's a powerful force that can reshape industries, transform lives, and make a world better place. We are committed to supporting student entrepreneurs on their journey, equipping them with the tools, knowledge, networks they need to succeed.
Now, before we begin our show, let's take a moment to introduce our guest for today. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome FCS CS Ravichandran, Combined Chapter SIRC of ICSI, to this special event. We are truly honored by your presence today and we are thrilled to have you share this momentous occasion with you. We would like to start this interview. Our first question for you. And your first question is, what inspired you to join the Indian Air Force?
That is a very simple story because my college passion was physics, mathematics, and chemistry. But you know that those years of 1980, 81, 82, and all, we never had sufficient number of engineering colleges. For example, I am from the state of Tamil Nadu. Hardly there were 5, 6 colleges. So even though I had secured the college first and very high rank and marks and all, in fact in maths I was 200 out of 200. However, getting admission to an engineering college was not that easy and not available because seats were very few. And therefore, to pursue my engineering ambition, opportunity came by my way. By enrolling in the Air Force, I was able to get my qualification with a diploma in technology and a diploma in radio communication engineering and a practical training in radar engineering. So therefore, somehow I have achieved whatever I thought I should get it.
Okay. Your next question is, can you share your childhood dreams and how they shaped your career?
Can you just come back? Your audio was slightly less.
Okay. Can you share your childhood dreams and how they need shaped your dream career?
The that is actually it has happened. I will say in a sense during the earlier years of my life, the childhood times. I have always been blessed with the opportunity of moving from station to station in hill stations mostly because my father was working for the electricity board of the government of Tamil Nadu. So therefore, every 2 years, 3 years, he will be always moved, and therefore we also move to different location, different schools. So there is never a permanent, long-term relationship with any friends and all. The schools will be different, place will be different. Everything is hill station, and therefore I think my life was destined to be traveling, and including today it has never ended. And our office is famous for booking some 300 flights a year for me, and many a times we can say 50 times cancellation will also be there. So it is like this for all the time. Even before joining the Air Force, I had been going around the state of Tamil Nadu and Kerala for selling textile piece goods. I have an experience as a person in the textile piece goods market also. Thereafter, I went to Air Force. So, travel, learning, being dynamic, taking care of everyone, understanding about the needs is basic to establishing a great practice. In addition to knowledge of the sections and provisions of one or two enactments, more required is relationship. That has come because of my moving about with several people across the country in several places. So Air Force as well as practice both has given me the same thing that I was getting in the childhood also.
Okay, great. Moving ahead, next question. What are your hobbies or interests outside of your profession?
As a matter of hobby itself, I used to be writing articles, speaking in programs, organizing programs itself is my hobby. Several programs I have, maybe 500 or more, and books. I have written already about 11 books, and I am fond of any place when there is a carom or a TT, a shuttlecock, or a wildlife, some risk taking adventurous things. All these things are my hobbies, and I will never leave anything to this indulge. That's it.
Okay. Your next question is, how do you maintain a work-life balance?
Since my hobbies are connected to creating opportunities for taking care of the family, basically, travel is something which is routine. Therefore, we have always been traveling ever since the day of marriage. The day of marriage, the next day, I had 10 days. Only the governor of Arunachal Pradesh granted me for my marriage, all the way from the most northern east part of the country to Tamil Nadu. Journey itself is 5 days, one way. So come, marry, go back. 5 days journey. It's like that. And always we have traveled to several places, wildlife, other than wildlife, other countries, taking care. And fortunately, I have been able to get good children, good education I could give, good amount of practice. So it has been always a scenario of well maintained work life balance. And since I am doing that, I have ensured that my firm, all the people working under me, do also get the same work life balance. And our firm is known for not disturbing them at any time after they go. They may interact, but we may not trouble them. And our office, for years, I can say some 20 years, with whole staff and their families, we have always been doing office tours to far off places also at our cost, including for their families. So we ensure that work-life balance not only for me but also for my team. So that is naturally it is maintained. Thank you for this beautiful question.
Okay, moving ahead, next question. What motivates you the most in life?
There is only one thing I remember the philosopher Khalil Gibran. He said, climb the mountain and try to climb afterwards. Therefore, never it is a mind destination. Whenever you reach, there is another goalpost we can set. And therefore, what motivates me is my desire to achieve many more things. Create benchmarks whenever you do something that should be seen as a reference point for several others to follow and capitalize. So, drive is dynamic achievements never end. You have more to do, you can do more, is my motto. You have more to do and you can do more. I hope I am clear.
Next question is, what advice could you have give to someone aspiring to follow in your footsteps?
We have difficulty in your audio actually. Pooja Kumari's audio is clear. Can you just come back again? Slightly, it is very less.
What advice could you give to someone aspiring to follow in your footsteps?
Yes, that is very simple. I will tell you the secret itself. One, acquire knowledge. Everybody will tell this. But the secret lies in acquiring knowledge and keeping it at the back of your mind and use a processor, high speed processor, to pull out the particular knowledge input, and in a situation, whether it is for the clients or for anybody, immediately apply that knowledge and you make practical application. That is because of my engineering background. So apply this knowledge input. The problem is people may not have memory to support that. People may not have a unending thirst for acquiring knowledge. Even today, if you ask me, I would have studied, today I would have read not less than 200, 300 pages. And reading is so fast because you are accustomed to do reading. So pages can be scanned. In pages, you can input can be there. It can be at the back of the mind. Use it. Apply it for the relevant situation. And that is the reason for your ability to meet the challenges of the practice.
Okay, moving on next question. How do you handle stress or challenges in your personal and professional life?
Personal life, fortunately, not many challenges were there. Challenges were probably connected to, in the initial years of practice, less income. I have always maintained this particular philosophy of using the money available for the most needed purposes alone and add people, add systems, add processes so that the build you can be able to build the practice in a big way. So therefore we can say the challenges slightly that arose was with respect to the need to, personally I am speaking, need to be living in rented houses, less comfort. Maybe I never had even a bike in the initial years of practice, but I never hesitate to walk. Even today I've done 12 kilometers. So the challenges in the practice is practice itself, because you are a company secretary, and when you are going and arguing in courts, you are going to be looked at differently. Only you as a company secretary in practice, you are not a lawyer. Therefore, this challenge is swimming against the tide. Whatever jobs lawyers do, I do. Whatever job CS do, I do. And whatever job CS do, I do. Therefore, the challenge is that you must be able to establish there, because you will be finding a lot of people. That is why I use the word swimming against the tide. Any work you take, ever since the beginning, always it has been like that. Professionally. That's all.
Okay, moving ahead, your next question is, what challenges did you face as an officer and how did you overcome them?
I hope you are referring to my AFO stint. Are you referring to that? See, the military life is a peculiar thing. A soldier never dies. A soldier remains as a soldier for all the time. In terms of physical and mental fitness, alert and alacrity, he is always upright, keep things ready. One of the lessons you learn as a soldier is you should be properly groomed at all times. Always fit, shining, ready. So, readiness. The challenge was once we had the warlike situation and I moved the radio equipment from Gujarat, Baroda to Jodhpur in Rajasthan. That was a real warlike situation was there. And I had the requirement of moving my radar all the way from Srinagar in Kashmir to a high altitude in the Bandipora sector all alone. That is 6,000 meters above above sea level, MSL we say, right, main sea level. From 6,000 meters height, that itself is a cold place, mind you, Srinagar. Move it to 12,500 and no track, no roads, everywhere snow, and you have witnessed it. So challenges were many, and any time in Kashmir there was possibility of terrorist or militant attacks. The day I landed in Srinagar, I still remember vividly what welcomed me was the gunning down of 28 Air Force men and officers that day. So, therefore, challenges in military life as an officer or as a soldier was far too many. And a soldier, you cannot ask what challenges because every day is a challenge. And if somebody has survived, he is gifted. Somebody has died, he will be glorified because he has given life for the country. So both are equal for us, living or dying. Am I clear?
Yeah.
It's on you.
Moving on next question. Can you share a significant personal achievement you are proud of?
Significant, personal or professional?
Can you share a significant personal achievement you are proud of?
The personal achievements are always there. For example, having about 11 books authored by me is something which is very, very important because we are leaving something to the society. You will find practitioners, they may not be orators. I have spoken in thousands of conferences, thousands of articles I have written, books, and several awards have been conferred. Even when I was chairperson of the Coimbatore chapter, a vice chairman of the Coimbatore chapter itself, the chapter got the award. And several of my articles have received awards in Institute of Computer Science of India. And Man of Excellence Award I have got. I have been the independent director of Karur Vaishya Bank for 8 years, which is a private sector bank. And also recently our firm was conferred with the National PCS Firm, Best PCS Firm Award by the ICSI for 23-24. And if you see this as recognitions, it is hard work that was behind it. It was all achieved after hard work.
Nice. Okay, moving ahead, your next question is, what are the qualities that define a successful officer in the Air Force?
Successful officer is always ready to do his duty. On toes, always. Be ready. Number one. Number two, if you have to operate the radar, you should be a master of the equipment that you are handling. Today, we are handling equipments like books, correct? We have to be master of that book in order to be professionally excelling. In those days, it was technology and engineering, and we were working in the today's era, they are outdated technology. We were working in solid state devices. So, if you want to be fit in terms of your qualification and designation, you should have mastered the equipment you are handling. Similarly, the kind of weapon systems. Any weapon system which you are supposed to handle, you should be ready. And therefore, in terms of Air Force experience, one was always ready on toes. Two was having thorough working knowledge of radars. Three was ready to handle weapons and fearless to face attacks.
Okay. What was your most memorable experience during your time in the Indian Air Force?
Most memorable was my 2 year stint at the high altitude. It is very difficult for ordinary people to even understand or imagine it. It was like 12,500 above MSL, and there is no water. The snow has to be cut, put it on the Bukhari, the stove, get it in the night, overnight. If the heat is there, it will become water. Use that water for drinking, washing, bathing, for everything. And in the morning, your building, of course, a tinned roof building only, would have already been with 30-40 feet snow. So early morning you get, use your shawl, cut the snow, create steps to go out and see the outside world. And what you can see other than you is, other than the people who are there, only men, okay? It's very important. Nobody else will be there. The soldiers alone. And there were no female soldiers of those days. And what you will see other than you will be sometimes the snow tigers, the dogs, the cockroaches, the rats, the crows, that's all. Nothing else will be there. Any place you can see far off, as far as Nanga Parvat, nothing will be there. That's the kind of life. Most challenging, and that is the time. Note it now. I finished my ACS also. In that 2 years, enrolled and exited. In AC, I did ACS, natural AC.
Your next question is, how do you adapt to new technologies and strategies in the Air Force?
During my time, the technology was, as I previously said, we call it as transistor, solid state devices. Those days, circuit tracing is a very difficult task. You will not be able to identify which capacitor or valve or resistor has gone. So you need to work for hours together to identify the particular valve or the resistor or capacitor that has burnt. Use it, and then after identifying, and all those circuits will be in Russian letters. So we should be able to read Russian letters and identify that, trace the circuit, pull the cabinet, change the valve. Valve may not be there, so you need to run to Delhi for the depot to give you place orders, or sometimes it has to come all the way from Russia. So our defense systems had this difficulty. Technology has now changed. Today, you even sometimes we throw the mobile and buy another one. The printed circuit boards have come, so you just don't do all this circuit tracing. Buy the new board and keep it there, replace it. So technology has always changed for the better.
Okay. How has your time in the Indian Air Force shaped your leadership skills?
Discipline is a very important thing. It is by nature we are disciplined. Number two, please remember this. Any soldier will acknowledge this. Nobody will take individual credit. It's a team effort. The whole team we will be taking together and taking care of everyone. And always everyone is ready. The moment you are required to be there on the field, you will be there. And fitness, mentally, physically. What else do you want for a leader? A leader is characterized by his ability to strategize the roadmap, take his team along with him, bring them in sync with your objectives, take them along, work as a team, and win. Or lose also, sink or swim as a team. That's the beauty of military service.
Okay, moving ahead, your next question is, how do you stay disciplined and motivated in your role?
This you would have heard this. We suppose we practice something for some time, no? Will you not be accustomed to that? Is it not? Naturally. Suppose we have been in a particular mold, it is not possible to change it. That mold will continue forever. So I continue in the same disciplined way. That's why I told some time back, this morning, today, I did 7 kilometers in 60 minutes. And total running, walking is 12 kilometers as of now. So therefore, fitness in terms of exercising, fitness in terms of running, jogging, etc., fitness in terms of asanas, fitness in mind. The reason why my mind is fit is I can never think of anything else outside my professional requirement. Totally glued to, totally indulged in only the professional needs. That's it. Completely aligned. So there is no drifting, there is no thoughts.
Can you describe a high pressure situation you faced and how you managed it?
Situations of high pressure in current practice is daily. The reason is, unlike many other company secretaries, I have always been also practicing in court, particularly the tribunals, the company law board. The National Company Law Tribunal is the today's invention, but we had company law board, securities appellate tribunal, competition appellate tribunal, intellectual property appellate board. Several tribunals were there where company secretaries are entitled to practice, but hardly people used to practice. For example, within 3 years of my practice, I have already become a well-known person in the market for mergers and acquisitions. Straight from Air Force to company secretaryship here, without any practical experience or training. Within 2-3 years, I have already become master of trademarks, patents, and I have done patent registration long before. Every day is a challenge, and what keeps you going is the confidence and courage with which you just take up the job and ensure that it is done.
Nice. Your next question is, what advice could you give to young officers starting their career?
See, simply telling, one is I always advocate this currently after the climate change goals and the ESG concept, which has now become the buzzword. I always tell reduce consumption. And wherever it is necessary, try to reuse it. Try to recycle it or reclaim it. These 4 R's are important today's life fundamentally. To put it in simple words, lead a simple life. Number 1. Number 2, never go out of simplicity, honesty, transparency, and integrity. In professional practice, what makes you a cut above the rest is this honesty, simplicity, transparency, and integrity. If you are able to maintain this as the minimum denominator at all the times, throughout I have 3 decades of experience. You ask any client, hundreds and thousands of clients, they will vouch for this particular attribute of our firm. We are transparent, we are honest, we are integrity wise, nobody can ask anything, and we are very simple also. That drives as the goal or USP of our firm. I think if youngsters are capable of following that and work hard, because there is no substitute for hard work, and people are becoming tired. See, today's youngsters, if they read for 1 hour, 2 hours, become something, they'll feel okay, this is sufficient. Kal dekhenge, isse zyada kya chahiye, like that. So, but that is not the age. If you want to achieve something, 25 to 35, build your foundation. Make it strong. And how to make it strong is only this. You are not going to be anybody great in the initial years, but you can aspire to be great by following this honesty. Dishonesty is wrong, this honesty is important. Transparency, integrity, if you are maintaining and you are knowledgeable because you are hard work, I think clients will be coming to you. You don't need to go. You are becoming the temple of knowledge. No, temple doesn't go to the place of the clients. No, clients will come here, right? This is what I would advise the youngsters. Follow these footsteps. Work hard. I work for 14, 15 hours. Some recently, I think you would have heard about this L&T's chief talking about 90 hours, na? Have you heard in the social media, newspapers, it has become a critical subject of discussion in the social media that L&T's chief has advised all the employees to put in 90 hours of working per day, per week. But if you calculate actually 7 days, 24 hours is 168 hours. उसमें से 50% is 84. What is the great difference? Are we not working half a day and enjoying the other half a day for all other purposes? 84 hours is normal. And if you want to succeed, he is advising you to work hard. He is not saying it is a rule. He is saying, I expect everybody to work. That is why I said 25 to 35, this period is a golden period of laying strong foundation for a successful career, not only for you, but you will be able to build a big team around you. So youngsters must aspire to work hard. I do 14 hours even today. And even after that 14 hours, I do all the fitness and whatnot. It's possible. Thank you for this very interesting question for the youngsters. But one thing I will tell you, just give me 1 minute, I will add this. Those days in Air Force time and all, we never had the diversion opportunities that today's youngsters have. We never had those movies, televisions, OTTs, malls, WhatsApp, mobile phones, social media, all these things, when you are not there and still you have succeeded. But today, if some youngster is succeeding in spite of all these diversions, he is greater than all those people. Today's youngster who succeeds in this circumstances and scenario where everywhere everything is loud, everything is gaudy, everything has to be showing, right? In this circumstances, if a few are succeeding, they are far greater than our era people. Because we never had any diversion, we had to compulsorily do only this. I think those youngsters have to be celebrated and complimented. And two of you are there in front of me.
Okay, moving on next question. What led you to take on the role of managing partner?
And naturally, if you are founding a company, you are supposed to be not only a company secretary. If you talk about a doctor running a hospital, founding and running a hospital, he has to be in the administration and management because he has set certain goals. And as I told you, the goals are not end. Goals will be you reach and it will become the beginning of another goal. So in order to drive those goals, you need to be the head of the administration management. And if you are not going to be, as I previously told, taking care of everyone and driving them towards that, it is not possible. Therefore, naturally, if I have to be achieving those things, enabling everybody to grow, it is only because I am the managing partner.
Okay. Your next question is, what are your primary responsibility as a managing partner?
Family responsibilities you are asking, that doesn't come as a
Primary,
managing primary,
primary.
right? Primary responsibility is three things are there. One, I must ensure my resources are working. What are my resources? I have resources in terms of my people, in terms of the equipment I have given to them. All these things must work. Therefore, my responsibility lies in identifying idle hours of working. Who are all idle, we have to bring them to work. Then only the throughput will be high. So, number one is all my resources must be working. In other words, in military we used to say all guns in the armory, all weapons in the armory must be firing, correct? All my resources must be firing. Simple. Number one. Number two, provide a visibility in the market for the firm by always being available. My goal is, our aim we can say as managing partner or a dean of an university or something like that, is be present everywhere in the field, not outside. Be present everywhere at all times. So you need to be present everywhere at all times. Then that responsibility again comes to me. And all bottlenecks, troubleshooting, obstacles, and challenges that are first time coming to you, create a roadmap, create a reference point so that next time they are not challenges. Next time somebody else is capable of doing it, you create another. That's all, these three things.
Okay, your last question. How do you handle setback or failures in the business?
Success or failure is not supposed to be dropping you or driving you. I will always tell, have you put in your fullest efforts sincerely? Leave the success or the result, whatever happens. Don't worry. If your fullest effort you have put, honestly you have worked, you don't bother about success or failure. And you know, I told you, I have been arguing hundreds of cases in my name, judgments are there. Several judgments are there. Be it SEBI or company law or trademarks law or FEMA, even Competition Act. There are judgments in my favor. There may be one or two cases I have lost also. That doesn't matter at all. Have you handled on that day? So after I finish my arguments, turn, look at the client. He said, beautifully you have argued, sir. That's all. Enough. So you have done your work. Don't worry about success or failure. Take them with equal simplicity and humility. You will never be having difficulty to run your next day. You're taking success to the heights and failures, you are getting frustrated. Next day is going to be difficult for you. So there is no disappointment for me when there is a case is lost or when something happens. There is no great celebration and partying because something has come. Success is an ordinary requirement. Failure is natural. That's all I would like to say.
Okay, great. Moving ahead, we would like to express our sincere gratitude of CS Ravichandran Combated Chapter SIRC of ICSI being our guest for today at Conversation with Consultants. Your presence and engagement help to make it a success. Thank you for providing insight into your inspirational journey. Once again, thank you.
Thank you very much. Both of you did a wonderful job, and I have been taken down my memory lane several years. 1983 I joined Air Force. So you can understand 40 years I have gone down. Thank you.
Nice. Further, we could also like to thank our audience for listening patiently throughout the event. Thank you for everyone joining with us today, and we hope to everyone has gained some knowledge from this event. Looking ahead, we are excited to announce that next episode 42 Conversation with Consultants will be held next weekend. We hope to see you all there. Thank you again, and we look to forward to reconnecting with you next week. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and all social media handles to stay connected with us. Goodbye and have a great day ahead. Thank you a lot.